Game 1 Eastern Division Championship. First pitch coming up in just a few minutes. Kelly Nicholson here joining me on the Kelly Nicholson Report. Kevin Fitzgerald always here with you. This guy's a couple games away from making it to another league championship. It will be the first since 2005. And, Coach, you had that nice two-game sweep of the Harwich Mariners in the first round of these playoffs. Let's talk about you for a second. How do you feel heading forward now? Feel confident with this crew after that big two-game sweep?
Yeah, it was good. Our guys played really well, and I've told you guys all summer long is if we can pitch and play D and get timely hitting, you'll have a chance to win ball games, at least be in ball games, and that's what we did. Limited those guys to one run each game, and I think if you would have told me that coming in, I would have told you you're crazy. With as offensive as they are, but Matt Boyd pitched really well, and Crockett was really good out of the pen, and Pfeiffer was as gutsy a performance as I've seen up here in my 12 summers.
Yeah, you're right. A team that led the league in home runs. They smashed that league record with over 60 home runs this past season. Like you said, Boyd, Arakawa, Pfeiffer, all those arms, they really tamed that lineup. So let's talk about this team's mindset right now. What's the feeling heading forward? They must be hungry to really continue this hot stretch.
Yeah, I think so. I think they realize that they're 4 away from a ring, and hey, we're not looking 4 games ahead, but it's one game at a time, and they know if we have a good process and pitch and defend and get some timely hitting, that we're gonna compete and we're gonna be in ball games.
Yeah, let's talk about that Game 2 performance. It was a 6-1 win a couple days ago as first pitch between the Fibers and the Whitey Red Sox coming up in just a few minutes here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. And you talked about Phil Pfeiffer. He came in after Jared Arakawa was hurt after that first inning of work. Did a splendid job through 6 scoreless innings. That was the longest start he's had since his high school career. It didn't even go that long this past year at Vanderbilt. Talk about the impact that he had in that ballgame. Just how huge it was to save arms in the bullpen for him to go that long.
Well, huge is an understatement. If we don't get the kind of performance we got out of Phil the other night, who knows? We might not be here, speaking today. We might have had to go back to Harwich for Game 3. The thing about Pfeiffer, he's really, really competitive. He competes, and when he's out on the mound, he's going to give you everything he has. And we worked in the pen a little bit the other day, and I think he improved his tempo a lot. And
best coach in the case.
Scott Fickler.
As Scott Fickler joins us here.
Get in here, Pick. Look at the camera, buddy.
Wave to the camera and say hello.
You got the best coach in the Cape right here. Scared to death today.
It's going to be a perfect matchup. Just coach v. coach today, I guess you could say.
So anyhow, Pfeiffer was just really, really good, and the thing he did, he threw strikes. He threw 6 innings and walked 1 guy, and that has not been his strength all summer. And he had a really good pen and worked on a couple things and actually took it out into the ball game and got really, really good results. I've been happy, for some performances in my time up here, but none has made me more proud or more happy than those 6 innings by Phil Pfeiffer the other night.
Yeah, certainly. To bridge the gap right to Kyle Crockett, those 2 appearances in both Game 1 and Game 2 of the Harwich series. So you already told us about Jared Arakawa. Unfortunately, he goes home, and now it's just another lost arm. So let's talk about moving forward in this series. Who are you going to throw tomorrow? It's Jimmy Reed on the mound tonight. Really, he was a part of that 3-headed monster, and Matt Boyd, Jared Arakawa, the other 2. Who goes tomorrow as we look forward in this series?
Well, it'll be McNitt tomorrow, and then Boyd in Game 3 or Game 1, right. Hopefully. And then we're just going to kind of piece things together. Probably Pfeiffer would throw after Boyd, right. And we're looking at 5 games ahead or 4 games ahead. Then we're just going to have to see who's available.
Yeah, certainly. First pitch coming up between the Red Sox and Firebirds. First game of this Eastern Division Finals. Hey, Coach, you talk about some of the performances in Game 2. Guys like PK Kitamura, Angelo LaBruna, the bats really starting to turn around, driving in runs when you really need those big clutch hits. Talk about the clutch performances of those 2 guys specifically, and that team really just driving in runs when you need them.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it. PK did a nice job. He got a safety squeeze down, and AJ came up with hit a ball through the 5-6 hole for a couple RBIs, and we tried to squeeze, and ball got by the catcher. And I told those guys, I've told this club early on, if we want to win, are we going to have to execute and play small ball a little bit in the playoffs. And those guys did a good job of that. So I was really proud of their performances the other night.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at this series. Again, Game 1 of this series coming up in just a few minutes. It's against the Whitey Red Sox. It's a team we've had 6 absolutely close matchups between this ball club against these two teams this season. There's been 3 walk-offs. And the last couple playoff seasons, this Red Sox team has knocked you out in both of these past 2 years. Is there a little bit of that revenge factor? We're just talking with Coach Scott Pickler. You think you want that, I guess, that revenge factor in this series?
Well, it's a brand new group of guys. Yeah. I think for guys like, Gragnani and maybe guys that were here last summer, but, even Grag's had to go home early last summer, so it's a brand new group of guys. I was talking to Stevie Englert last night about, he was, or 2 nights ago, talking to his guys about possibly winning back-to-back championships, and then, we kind of looked at each other and it's like, well, it's a brand new group of guys, and so I don't think revenge. We just want to go out and play good baseball and be competitive and hopefully come out of here with a W today.
Certainly. It's going to be on the shoulders of Jimmy Reed. He starts game 1 of this series. And Jimmy, he's been flawless of late. The ERA is dropping and dropping, and seemingly he's gotten into such great rhythms these last handful of starts. You look at his first start of the season, was against this YD team, did give up 5 earned runs in 4 innings pitch in that ball game. Seems like that start is ancient history to him now.
Well, let's hope so. When you pitch, you have to have short memories, especially when you don't have success. And that was a long time ago, and he's he made an adjustment in his delivery as well, and I think it's really helped him. And he's real consistent with his routine. His in between start routine, and hopefully we're going to get some innings out of him tonight, and hopefully he's going to give us a chance to win when we do have to go out and get the ball from him. He's probably going to get 95 to 100 pitches tonight, and we'll see where we're at after, when that time arises.
Yeah, Coach, and before we finish up here, as Coach Kellen Nicholson joins us on the Cape Cod Baseball Network, what does he have to do tonight? What do you want to see from Jimmy tonight in order to get that victory?
Well, he's got to work ahead. We emphasize first pitch strikes and then getting 2 out of the first 3 pitches for strikes, and just having command of the fastball and throwing the breaking ball for strikes, keeping those guys off balance. It's a dangerous lineup. They really hit in this ballpark, so you can't get too concerned if they score 3 or 4 runs, because I've seen some crazy things happen in this park, and so we're going to go pitch by pitch, inning by inning, and see what happens after 9 today.
Certainly. First pitch coming up between Firebirds and Red Sox. Game 1 of this Eastern Division Finals as Coach Kellen Nicholson joins us. Coach, thanks for stopping by.
You bet. Thank you.
We'll toss back to more Firebirds pregame extra right after this.